What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got some more offensive linemen to look at here. Left tackle city still. Got a couple more guys to get through here, and then we'll do another video probably later today. And that'll take us home and wrap up the look at left tackles. Like I said, it's important to keep in mind that you never really know for sure where these guys end up in the NFL sometimes. So just because these guys play a position that the Seahawks have nominally covered with Cross and Jones doesn't mean that interesting things can't happen with these players once they get to the next level. So we're going to start with Drew Shelton of Penn State, the Nittany Lions. 22 years old here. He's got pretty marginal size. He's not too big, which is fine for a left tackle. Arms are a little short, but not so short that this can't work. Hands are kind of small too, for whatever we think about that. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them later. He tested well overall, not great. 518 40 is okay. The broad and vert were really good, actually. Big boards, we've got mostly fourth round, a little bit in the fifth or sixth. Walter Football loves him and has him in the second. The aggregate puts him in the fifth, early fifth. PFF grade last year was pretty good. He allowed a lot of hurries, but only one sack and no hits, so mixed bag. Not too bad. Only one penalty, too. The year before that, a little bit more rough, not graded terribly well. So, one thing about Drew Shelton is that he's really good at the snatch move. And a snatch move is kind of how an offensive lineman overcomes a length disadvantage. So, he understands that he may have length disadvantages at the next level, but at the same time, he is already has the ability to effectively overcome it. He looks good and comfortable when he's moving in space. He's not the greatest athlete ever, but he's pretty good, and he understands how to handle blocking at the next level and blocking in space. He covers ground on the field pretty fast overall. He looks faster on the field than he did at the combine. His pass slides are pretty clean and effective. He's able to slide rapidly to keep up with speed, and his punches land with meaningful force. He can really like take the wind out of a speed rusher and really knock them back. He's not especially effective when faced with stunts. I think he struggles with the idea of not blocking the guy who's in front of him and understanding where the pressure is going to come from given a twist or a stunt. He doesn't have the strength you really look for to clear out a hole in the run game. His sustain is kind of weak, maybe partially because he has the small hands. So he will win a rep and then lose it. He overslides sometimes and gives up the inside, which is understandable to an extent when you play better speed rushers, and his anchor is just not that good. So overall, I think this guy is going to work pretty well in zone. Keep him out of situations where he needs to really anchor. Keep him out of situations where he needs to muscle a guy out of the hole. And I think he'll be pretty darn good. I think that he will be an effective zone corner. Or, I'm sorry, zone lineman. And I think he could be good at tackle. I think he could be good at guard. He's not super tall. His arms are okay. And the upside is a little bit diminished, but I think he's going to be good in this league, maybe as like a really versatile offensive lineman who can play multiple spots. So I'd get on board anytime when day 3 starts. If you get this guy early in the 4th, I think that works. I like him, and I'm a fan. Do you like sports? If you do, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. I've had a great time using Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing so easy and fun, and it even makes watching the games way more exciting. And with the cool social feeds feature, you can share lineups with your friends and even follow partners to tail or fade their picks. Obviously, we're in the NFL offseason right now, but we've got basketball, baseball, hockey, all kinds of other stuff, so don't be afraid to test things out in whatever sport clicks with you. You can even pick multiple sports in the same lineup and sweat everything at once. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So, download Prize Picks, America's #1 sports app. And don't forget, Code HMA, that is HMA, gives you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. All right. Next up, we got J.C. Davis of Illinois, the Fighting Illini here. Very short, which is not a bad thing, but he's got legitimate heft. He's over 320. Arms are pretty long, over 34 inches. Hands are decently sized, so he's got some weight to him. He's got some size. The combine was mixed, but maybe a little bit more good than bad overall. The broad jump was ugly, but it's not bad given the fact that he is a little bit of a bigger guy. Big boards, mostly like the 4th or 5th. Aggregate has him in the 5th. Really good PFF scores last year. He did allow a lot as a pass protector, but his grades were really good. So a little bit of a contradiction. He did massively improve his penalties from 2024 to 2025. So let's talk about the pros and cons of J.C. Davis. Hand usage is pretty on point. He understands how to position them. He understands where to place them. He understands the mechanics of hand placement. He has the length needed for NFL tackle work. There's not going to be an issue there. His arms are pretty long. He's got big hands, not huge or anything, but they're pretty big. And his grip strength is standout. And that's not something I've really pointed out on a lot of the offensive linemen we've discussed so far this year. It feels like he's got grip strength. He's a capable athlete. He should be able to play in space at least decently. His height gives him a natural leverage advantage, so he does have that going for him. And that's something that can't really be taken away from him because he's just short. It is what it is. And 2025, he saw big improvements, so he's progressing. And he's only 22, so he can still get better. Now, I wouldn't call him comfortable looking in space. I think that he needs to get more experience doing it and hope that he actually makes strides in that area. He can get pushed around by powerful defenders. I think that powerful defenders can give him issues. I think that his anchor is not great. He leans into contact and gets punished a little bit for it. He's one of those guys that kind of ducks his head into contact. His sustain is not as good as it should be given his grip strength. Like he does tend to lose the rep as it goes on, although I do think he has some mechanisms to improve that. And sometimes it feels like he's not as long with his arms as he should be. So there's not enough sauce here for me. It's not that appealing. I'm not that good into it. I don't think he'll be that good in any one area. Maybe he'll be adequate in most areas. Maybe he'll be like passable. But I kind of see a guy who's really forgettable here. So I go 6th, maybe late 5th. I'm not super into this one. I just don't see much of intrigue here. It just seems like he's relegated to be a career backup because the upside and the all-around flexibility isn't there. Okay, one more guy for this video, and then we are done until later. Isaiah World of Oregon. Isaiah World, couldn't find his age. Typical size, good arm length, so that's nice. 6'5.5" is fine. 323 pounds, okay. 34.5 inches, okay. Hands a little bit small, but not critically so. Big boards, we got mostly like 5th round. Walter loves him for some reason. They got him in the 2nd. Aggregate puts him in the 5th. Walter, I think their big board doesn't update that often. Probably a relic. But PFF grade's not great. The pressure numbers allowed, not the best. Remember, this is Oregon we're talking about here. They do run the ball a lot, so this is troublesome. Also 16 total penalties. So we're talking about a guy who played at Oregon, and while he's got talent and ability, didn't play that great. He's a good athlete for his size. I know he didn't do anything at the combine, but that was because he was injured. So the thing to understand with World is that he probably would have tested well, but he just didn't get to because he's hurt. He's a great run blocker with the technique and power required to displace defenders. He can really drive guys out of the hole. He understands how to really just use leg drive. He has the talent to be an excellent pass protector. The ability is all there. He had a ton of experience in college. He punches hard. His punches land with firmness and power and pop. And he uses his length well. He looks the part of a 34.5-inch armed player. Now, he does tend to play up too high. He doesn't bend. He doesn't have the ability that he wants to in terms of really getting low with leverage. His inconsistent play is a marker here. Overall, he is inconsistent. He doesn't always maintain his blocks through the whistle, so it's another guy who is kind of not necessarily sustaining. His current pass slides are all over the place, and he needs time to refine those pass slides. So not really a finished product. And he's injured right now. I don't know how severe it is, but it was enough to keep him out of the combine outside of getting measured. So I think the injury is costing him some credibility here. If he wasn't hurt, he would have tested well and probably been a much higher pick. I think he'd be looked at quite well if he hadn't gotten hurt. So I'm liking this. I go early 4th round. There's talent, there's upside, there's potential here, and that's rare in this draft. I like that. And I think that circumstance is pushing him down here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later today. Go Hawks. We got a few more left tackles to look at. And then we have more positions to get through before the draft. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Go Hawks.